Oh, it's Simon here from Adelaide Walker. I'm going to make you a short video this morning, or I hope it's going to be short, unboxing and putting together the Ashford 16-inch rigid Heddle loom. Okay, so here we go. So, as I say, this is the 16-inch rigid Heddle, and a set of instructions there. Standard 7.5 DPI reed that comes with all the looms that Ashford sell as standard. Those are our side blocks, back and front beam, extra supports, box of gubbins, nicely wrapped up in paper, a couple of shuttles, and actually our beams there that we're going to wire into. Warping peg, which is a bit of a tight fit there, and hopefully this is a box of screws and other fixings. And indeed it is. Okay, let's get to the box. Okay, so set of instructions in here. You need two things for this really. You need a Phillips screwdriver, a cross head screwdriver, and a hammer. Okay. Right, so let's move that out of the way. The first thing I'm going to do is attach these things, which is where the reed sits, to the sides of these screws. So let's make sure we get these the right way, and the Ashford symbol is on the outside of that one. So your outside is the one with these little bevels inset around the holes. That's the right side. Okay. That's the left side, and that's the right side. And those, as you can see, are not identical, they are sided. You need to make sure the right one goes in the right hole. They are going into those two little holes there, like that. Now the Ashford instruction suggests that you use a little bit of candle wax on your screws to make them go in easier. Don't know if you have candle wax easily to hand in your house. I don't have any here, so I'm not going to use it. What you could use actually is a bit of Vaseline. Just dip your end of the screw in that. You might find them going a little bit easier. That's not too bad. It is a little bit tight. If you can see the grimace on my face, you can see that in fact it is quite tight. There we go. So that's one. On the other side. Okay, so that's part one in the diagram is done. We've got our sides together. So what we're going to do now is attach these clicker pulls to the outside of the loom. They act like a ratchet on both the front and back rollers to hold the roller in place. And they both fit on one side, the right hand side, which is the side of the loom that's got the Ashford logo on. Now this bit kind of fooled me the first time. and there's these little bits of wood here, and you think, what on earth are they? What you need to do is just prise those off like that, which leaves a little pin stuck out, like a sawn off nail really, and that is what these clicker pulls sit against. That's what holds it in place. Now I'll give you a close-up of that when we're done. Okay, so I think this bit's a bit fiddly. What we're trying to do is put one of those bolts through that hole there, and it's going to go into this clicker pull there, and it's a little bit awkward, if I'm honest, to get it right. So I think the best way to do it is like this. Put your clicker pull over there, so the end of that is fitting in that little hole, and the pin, which we talked about a moment ago, is sitting in that space there. It needs to be angled like that, that way. Okay, and then through the back and screw it in till it holds. Now there isn't a nut on the other side of this, so it's just going into the plastic pull, and I'm not tightening this right up. I'm leaving, Ashford says 0.5mm gap, so we'll take that as a small gap so that it moves fairly freely. So I don't know whether you can see on that, but there is a bit of a gap there. Okay, so that's the first one done. The second one the same way, so that's going in there like that, again with the pin sticking through the gap in the clicker pull and with the handle pointed towards the middle of the loom. And again, bolt through the back and screw it up. So again, I'm not screwing that right fully tightened, just enough so that it stays in, and the pull then moves easily like that. And that is stage 2. So just to show you how this should end up, this should move quite easily, and you can see that it sits with that gap around that little pin there, and the same on that side. Okay, so we are now on to stage 3 of our assembly, which is to attach the two sides together. And for this we're using these two heavier pieces of wood, which is the front rail and the back rail. They are not the same. The front rail has these large holes in the bottom, which you can fit the optional pegs, and the back rail doesn't. So just to get it right, this is my right hand side. It's the one with my clicker pulls on and the Ashford logo, and towards me is the front. So this one with the holes goes in the front there, one at the back goes there, and we also want to get these rollers that fit in here and in here. Now I don't think the instructions are very clear on this point, because what it says is fit these back rails, and if you do that, that's lovely, but you then can't fit this in. So we're not going to do that. So what I think you should do is fit one side of the rails first. So we're just going to do that. Screws through the outside. Okay, so I've got one side of my front bar. It's not going very well. It's better. My front bar and my back bar attached, and the other side is not. So in order to save your frustration, now we need to fit the roller bars, and these are the same front and back, but they're not the same ends. You can see that that end is perfectly round and that end has a couple of notches out of it, and that's where that's going to fit on. So, notched end through the right hand side with the clicker pull. Just going to sit that in there like that. Where's the other one gone? There it is. And again, notched end through the back. Okay. Now I'm going to fit that through there. That through there. Again, if you have a friend, makes life a smidgen easier. And now we can put the screws into the left hand side and everything will fit together. So there we are. It almost looks like a loom. Hurrah! You can see that these will rotate, which is exactly what we want. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is fit these cogs on the end of the rollers. And as I said, it is these notched bits. These notched bits there on the outside of the rollers that fit onto the handles. So that is just going to fit over there. Like that. And that should engage that when that is clipped towards it. And you can see that it does. Okay, so that, as you can see, acts as a ratchet against that cogged bit there. And the same on the other side, other end I should say. That's a little bit stiff. There we go, and again, make sure those engage. Lovely. So, when we're happy with those, then they are just screwed on this penny washer there and these short silver screws, and that just fits over there and screws in like that. There we go. And I think that screw is unnecessarily long. And the same on the back one. There we go. That is stage 4. So our next stage is to fit these handles into these cogged wheels that we just put on, and you can see there are 4 little prongs that fit in there. Okay, so they don't screw in, they just kind of click in, and the instruction says give the handles a sharp tap with your fist so that they snap down tight onto the cogs. So here we go. I wonder how many takes this is going to take. And in fact just one. So same again on the back. Make sure it's lined up first. That doesn't seem to line up quite as nicely as the previous one did. Maybe it does. Here we go. It's not worked. There we go. taken rather more wax than the back one did, than the front one did. I wouldn't recommend doing that with a hammer because I think all you'll end up doing is just damaging those wheels there. Alright, so my hand is suitably red, but everything does indeed work. Alright, finishing stages now. So what we're now going to do is attach these warp sticks to the rollers with these little plastic arrowhead ties. So there is a way of doing this. If we look at this beam, the roller I should say, then there is a large hole and there is a slightly smaller hole, and what we need to do is put these arrowhead through the warp stick and then through the small hole so that it sticks through the large hole. It just goes through like that, and there we go. And then we just repeat that all the way along. There we go, that's the back one done. Same for the front one. You do end up with some of these spare, so don't worry if you seem to have more left than you think you should. So again, through the small hole and out the larger hole. And there we go. So we're really there. So the reed sits in like that. So in our up position the reed will be there, held by the tension of the warps. In our rest position the reed sits in that middle one, and in the down position it sits under there like that. Is our 16-inch loom. So there we go, it's all done. I hope you found that useful. When I started doing this I'm thinking, well actually it's fairly obvious how to do this, but in fact there are a couple of areas where it's not very clear what you should do. I think particularly around fitting those, and also fitting these beams and fitting the rollers. If you fit the beams first, as I said, you can't then fit the rollers because there's no space to do it. There we go. If you'd like to buy one, then have a look at the link underneath. You can always give us a ring and talk to us as well. I should also say that it comes with a very good beginner's guide to how to set up your loom for weaving and how to weave a basic project. It's very clear step-by-step instructions, and if you've never woven before then it is very clear. I think I speak of experience of having gone through this the first time when I'd never done anything on a rigid Heddle loom, and it is a good little guide. And there we go. So those of you who are very observant will remember that some minutes ago I said at the start of all this you need a hammer. But as you'll have seen, you don't. It does say that on the instructions, I wasn't making it up. I can't see why you would need a hammer at any point in this. And having read the instructions again, it doesn't mention using a hammer at all, so it's not to me. There we go, perhaps handy for self-defense, or if you need to pull out some nails at any point during your construction. There we go, you live and learn. Thanks a lot, we'll see you soon.